this is the agenda. We will first talk a little bit about the ExFlow import journals, a short introduction, and then we will jump into BC where we will spend time today to do a walkthrough there. And then we will look into where your users in the web can see the comments as well. Just one slide. And then questions, Q&A towards the end. So let's jump into BC right away. No, wait, sorry. This first. So the ExFlow import journals, to the left here, the journals. You have a starting page where you can see your journals. You might have one journal or several journals. And on that page, you can batch import documents and you can send reminders of missing receipts and so on. But then when you enter the journal, that's where you do all your work. So you can import documents, you can add coding, handle warning messages, and create the documents. And today we will look at some basics. So we have chosen some of the functions for you guys that we will go through today and talk about. So we will not look at everything because then we will spend a lot of time here. So now let's go to BC. Okay, so this is my starting page. Up here, you can bookmark. For example, if you have a journal that you spend most of your time in, you can bookmark it. So you have a direct link up here. You have it under actions, or you can click down here to go to the import journal. Here, I only have one journal. However, you might have several. So to pick something out to look a little bit, to talk a little bit more about, here on the line, you have something called automatically create documents. So what this does is that if you click in this setting and everything is okay with the documents, meaning no warning messages, you have the lines created on it, you have coding on it, and all the approvers and so on. Then if you have ticked this, and if you have gone to the vendor card to activate this on the vendor card as well, those two things you have to do, then what will happen is that when you import the documents here, the documents will be sent out for approval right away, meaning you will not see it in the import journal. This is good if you want to automate your work, and to keep in mind if you work with predefined accounts, for example, then that account, if you don't have another like purchase code or anything on it, then that is what account it will be sent out with. So keep that in mind. You can read more about this in our manual, or if you contact the support. Up on the right here, you can choose if you want to have your journals as a list or tiles, and then you can take away the fact box and so on. Up here under home, you can batch import documents. For you that use ExFlow data capture, I know you that work in Finland don't have this, but in Sweden, for example, a lot of you have this. This is a link to ExFlow data capture, previously named ReadSoft. So you can find that right away. Under actions here, you can also batch import documents, for example, and you can here as well send out email receipts reminders if there are some missing receipts. Yeah, let's see. And here, pending document statistics. So here you can have statistics of failed incoming documents, for example, and so on. You can also see documents that you have in your import journal. And for example, you can see open ExFlow invoices. So if I would click on this number, then it will open a new page with those invoices, so you can see them right away. So let's enter here and look in the import journal. Up here, you have batch name. So this is the journal you're in right now. If you have several journals and you don't want to exit this page all the time and easily want to change to another one, click on these dots up here. Then you will get a list. Now I only have one, but if you have several here, you can click on it and you will go to that journal fairly easily. Under the home button here, you have a menu like this. You can unpin this, or if you click again, home, then you can pin it. So you can have it here all the time. So you can choose if you like how you want that. In the middle here, you can see auto coding suggestions. This is a function that enables an automatic way of using or handling coding via machine learning. We will not go into depth in this today. I will just mention that we have more information about this in the manual if you want to see it. You can also contact the support if you have more questions. You also here have the Open PDF Viewer in a new tab. So let's say that you do not want to have the fact box here. You want to take that away to have some more space. Then you can click on Open PDF Viewer in a new tab. And then the line you're on, the PDF or the document for that line will open in a new tab. So you can open it in a new window and work on two screens, for example. Keep in mind that it is a little bit slow. So if you would change the line and jump to another document, it will change to the next document, but it will be a few seconds delayed. You can also access the vendor card here as a shortcut. You can also import documents right away here, verify documents and batch verify documents. And if you work with short commands, for example, to verify documents, you don't have to push that button. You can just push Control R. And if you want to batch verify documents, you push Control Alt R. Also, if you would hover over a button, now you cannot see the message that pops up here if I hover because of a bug in Microsoft webinar. But if you hover over here, you will get a message showing like explanation of that button. And if there is a possible shortcut or short command that you can use, then that will be shown in that message as well. If we click on create, here you can batch create invoices and create invoices. If you, for example, do not want to batch create all invoices that are ready to be created, then you can click on the buttons here, select more, and choose the ones that you want to batch create. So if you have clicked in these and then click on batch create, those are the only ones that will be created. You can also, if you have ticked these and you might want to send those documents to someone, you can push Control I to create a zip folder. So then you will download a zip folder and then you can send that to someone else, for example. And when I say batch create and so on, that you need to be done with the document, like everything is okay, no warning messages and so on, then you can batch create that. If you would, let's see, go to actions here and import. Up here you have an Excel template that you can download. Let's say that you have a document with a lot of coding on lines that you need to work with. Then you can download this Excel template, work with it, and then you can perform calculations in it and use values from other sheets, and then upload that document here. You can also here get latest coding from vendor. So if you have been working with a vendor and know that the last coding I used, those are the ones I'm going to use again. So let's push here and then you will get those codings. If we go to functions, up top here, you have save coding to vendor. So let's say that you use the same coding over and over again for a specific vendor. If you click here, then you will create a purchase code on that vendor. You might have a document that for some reason would have ended up here in the wrong journal. Then you can transfer this document to another company or another batch. And then here, contract. You can also create a ExFlow contract here directly. And if you do not know what ExFlow contract is, it's a feature that both automates and control of your reoccurring documents and agreements. So when you set this up, you can set settings to make sure that you can control that you get all the invoices that you should on those reoccurring invoices, for example. And you can also set settings that they do not have to be sent out. They can automatically be approved. So you don't have to send it out to your approvers, for example. We have an info session regarding ExFlow contracts on the 15th of November. So if you have not signed up, you can do so. And then under related, under document here, you can go directly to the purchase order if the document is a match to one. So then you click on the order card. You can also, if you matched to an ExFlow contract, you can show the contract here right away. And also vendor bank account. So you can easily see the vendor bank account from here. We also have something here called audit log. This is something we released this summer that you need to activate. So if you want to follow a document's journey, all the changes that have been done on it and so on, you can activate it. And then if you click here, you can see the journey that it has taken so far. Out here, you can use a filter function. You might want to search for one vendor or some dates and so on. So you can use the filter function for that. And you can bring the fact box forward or take it away. Down here, we have a column called block document. Here you can see it says creation and posting. Those are the two values that you can choose between in this column. So let's say that you work with the documents here and you want to batch create everyone except for one. If you push creation then here, you won't create that document. So then you will still have it there even though you're batch creating everything else. And then the posting one is you create the document, it will be sent out to your users and it will be ready for posting. However, you will not be able to post it if you have put this block here. So then you have to, in approval status, change and take away that block before you can post it. You can also work with your approval rules, ExFlow purchase codes, reference codes, and so on. So if I, for example, would want to add a purchase code, I can easily push here and you will get the menu and choose the one you want. And you can create a new one here right away so you don't have to exit. Some other shortcuts that you can use or short commands is if you push F5, it updates data that you have made changes to. If you're on a line and then you push F9, you create the document on that line if it's ready to be created. If you push Control I, you download the document. And that is the same thing, like if you push several ones and then push Control I, you will download a zip file instead of only the document. And then Control R, you're verifying the document. And then let's say that you want to copy the value that you have in a column from above to the one under, then you push F8. And then you can easily also create new lines by clicking Control Insert. So down here on import lines, you can add also new line, delete line. And also here, you can push Control Insert to add new lines. You can also pin and unpin this menu if you do not want to have it here. And then if you push line, you can click on Show Approval Proposals so you can see what approvers you have. You can easily take away some or add some. You can push Show Available Approval Rules. And for example, on this one, you can see that the top one had 2 number of hits. So that is why this one is chosen. So ExFlow will always choose the approval rule with the most number of hits. You can also work with priority. So let's say that you have an invoice and you have the same amount of number of hits for 2 approval rules, but on one of them you have set a higher priority. If you have done that, then ExFlow will choose the one with the higher priority. And when we say higher priority, sometimes you think that one is higher priority than 2, but in ExFlow, the higher the number, so let's say 100. 100 is higher than or bigger priority than 1. Down here, you can also work with your deferral schedule. You can show your current dimension owners, and then we have a new feature from the summer as well, show budget. So you can set up a budget control. So that is where you can see that. If we bring out the fact box here again, you have a lot of buttons up here. So the middle arrows here is the ones that you go to previous page or the next page. Let's say you're working in a document that has 10 pages and you're on the 5th page and you want to go back to the 1st page. Then you click on this one. Or let's say that you want to go to the last one, then you click on this one. You can zoom in on the document or zoom out. If you want to make it back to how it was, just click on the next button. And then you can make the fact box bigger or smaller if you want to. And there is also some setup that you can do. So if you want to make the changes permanent on how big or small the fact box is, then you can either go to setup to ExFlow manual setup and then ExFlow fact box default size to change it for everyone, or you can use it the setting on your user card to set it up for some. And then if you want to just change it back to the default, restore it to how the default is, then you push restore here. If we scroll down, you have the discussion panel here. So we have some new features this year that makes you work easily with this. So let's say that you type someone, you mention someone here, and you click send. If that user that you send the message to is a BC user working BC, then they will get the message right away, even when you have not created the documents yet. If it's a user in the web, it's an end user, then it will not get the message until you have created the document. But if it's a BC user, you can talk to all BC users through here. So let's say that I tagged someone here. Then you can set up that I will get a message on my first page saying I have a new message, and you can also set up to get an email under the user card that you received a message. And the email have a link to the message right away. So if I would go to first page here, and then I get a new comment, then I can see it up here. And you can easily access it from here, read comments. Or you can go to, if you want to check out your old messages also, you go to ExFlow history and ExFlow chat notifications. If I would have a new message here now, it would show up, but I have already read them. So I can push show all, and then I can see my old messages. And if you're on the line here and push show document, you can see all the information connected to the document, and then you can see here the discussion panel and the comments. So you can comment back here right away. So remember to mention someone if you want to send it directly to someone to get a notification about it. Like if you don't mention someone, then no one will know basically. You will only see on the web then, for example, that it has a message, but If you want to speak directly to someone, then type the name. Also, if you have a document and you have commented on it and you delete that document, all the comments on that document are stored together with the document until you delete it. So you can see all the documents under the comments with that document under ExFlow deleted documents. If we go back to my journal, here under the discussion panel, you also have incoming documents files. Here you can add documents as well, attach new files, and those will tag along with the documents to the web to your users as well. You can see approval proposals here as well. You can easily show approval proposal here as well as you could on the line. And you can also see approval groups that belongs to, for example, in this case, Cecilia, because we're on her line. And then you have document details and warning messages. Let's look at this warning message. So here you can see that I have a warning message for this one, and you cannot see the full. If you have made the fact box smaller, sometimes you cannot see the full note about it. So if you hover over it, you will see the full note. Then you have vendor statistics and buy from vendor history. So that's some things that you can do in the import journal. There's also you can work with other features that make the work more easily and automated in the import journal. As I mentioned, for example, ExFlow contracts, purchase codes, reference codes, and so on. And these features automate your work. But let's say, for example, if you get sick and you have to stay home and someone else is going to do the work for you. If you set this up, then you don't have to worry that it gets wrong or so on. And with the settings, you can create rows, you can use references, you can link approvers with create rows with that. With the agreements, you can have the reoccurring invoices booked without needing approval and so forth. So those features are something that we will go through in the fall here on other info sessions. So sign up for that. Also, our online manual on our documentation platform, you will find more information there about the import journal. We go through every button of what each thing does. So I will include the link to the manual in the email that you receive later this afternoon. So let's go back to the PowerPoint. So here, we spoke about where you can see the messages in BC. This is where you can, your users can see it on the web. So they will see it like a little here, icon here if they have one, and they can also see here on first page. If they click on the arrow over here, they can also see old messages, for example.